Hello everyone, welcome to Linked Frequency. I am Vaibhav Sugandhi. In this particular tutorial, giving you introduction about Tinkercad. In previous tutorial, we spoke about how to create your account in Tinkercad and land to the place where we are going to execute our circuit. In this particular tutorial, I am going to give you introduction for different components, sensors, actuators and development boards available in this particular platform. I'm going to show you how exactly you can organize your component on the platform where you can execute and conduct your experiment. Without further delay, let's get started. Alright, we are on this platform called tinkercad.com. I believe that you guys are already having a knowledge how to sign into this particular platform and also how to get into this section called circuit. I also believe that you watched the previous tutorial where I shown how to sign up for this platform and come to this section called circuits. Now what I'm trying to do in this tutorial is all about showing you what are different components, component sensors, actuators and also development boards, also controller available in this platform, so that you can execute your project without dependency on these tutorials. Now I am going to click on create new circuit, where we are going to start with building our own circuit, tinkering our own circuit and start with organizing components and all. This is an introductory session, so there is a lot of things to go ahead and a lot of things to learn in this particular platform in coming sessions. So right now just watch it and try it by yourself and try to create a small circuit in this platform and try to execute it, so that you will get to know how exactly virtual components works in software called Tinkercad. Now we have a window in front of us. This is a blank window where we place all the component and we organize the circuit as per the circuit diagram. So I believe that you guys are aware of circuit diagram, you guys are aware of resistor, LED component, all these basics of electronics is very clear with you. So assuming those points, I'm going ahead and going to build a small circuit here and show you how exactly it works in simulation mode. Now first thing first we need to do is we need to change a name. Why? Because keeping a random name is not a good idea when you are executing certain project. So I'll just change this particular name to, say for example, power supply, because I'm going to build a small power supply in this example, so that you can get to know how exactly simulation works. Now when we change the name, it will be auto saved. You need not hit that Control S again and again, because we have a habit of doing that Control S, but we need not to do in this particular platform. Why? Because it is auto saved. And make sure that you have an active internet connection. Without active internet connection, this platform is not going to work for you. Okay. Thereafter, I'm just going to give you a glimpse of components available here. Like we have a basic component like resistor, LED, push button, potentiometer, all those things. Again, we have an input component which is so called we have basic component, Arduino component, we have a micro bit which is all about microcontroller section and all, and assembled circuits are also available, which I'm not going to explore at this point of time. So let me click on all. Why? Because we need pretty much every component. Why this particular component is selected, I don't know. So once we click on this all components available, then we can see that we have a capacitor, we have a diode, we have a Zener diode, inductor, so many things are there. Now we can see that general section is all about these general components, which are like resistor, capacitor, ceramic capacitor, electrolytic capacitor and all. When it comes to input, it is all about sensors. I hope you guys remember my previous tutorial. What is the definition of sensor? What is the definition of actuator? We spoke about it, right? The electronic device which converts physical quantity into electrical quantity is called a sensor device. So whenever input device we call it as, or whenever we see a category called input, it is mean or it is pointed towards a sensor devices most of the time. Not most of the time, 99.9%. There is a very rare probability we have a false section in this platform. But do remember, when it is so called input, it is all about sensor. Because push button, what it does, it converts mechanical movement into electrical signal, which can be sensed and processed in later stage. We have a potentiometer, which is again a mechanical movement converted into electrical signal, so that we can sense, we can do whatever processing we need to do with respect to electrical signal. Slide switch, sensor, potentiometer, or a photovoltaic sensor, or photoresistor. We call it as a photoresistor, which is a light sensor in general, which converts light intensity into electrical fluctuation so that you can monitor how much light intensity in a specific area. So these are the sensor devices which are converting physical quantity into electrical quantity. That's why they are categorized into input section. Thereafter we have output section, which is all about the electronic devices which converts electrical signal into physical quantity. I hope you guys are recalling all those definitions we discussed in previous tutorial. If you have not done that, go back and watch that particular video and come back to this particular video. Okay, so output devices are all about electronic devices which converts physical quantity into electrical quantity, and LED is one of the best example. It converts electrical voltage and current into a light energy. Thereafter we have NeoPixel LEDs, which is I don't know why they have added so much of them in this particular platform, but see, you can see that they are addressable LEDs, RGB LEDs, which we are not going to talk much in this particular tutorial. Thereafter we have a DC motor, which is again conversion of electrical signal into mechanical movement. Thereafter we have a stepper motor, servo motor, and buzzer, which is conversion of electrical signal into sound energy. 7-segment display, again similar to LED but organized in 7 segments so that it looks like a digital digit. Okay, and also we have a LCD display, 16x2 LCD display, which is all about actuator section. Thereafter we have a power section where we can get a 9-volt battery, we can get a 1.5-volt battery, solar cell or coin cell, which is 3-volt battery, lithium ion battery, or we have these primitive lemon battery and potato battery. I really don't use these two things, but still, for those who are very creative and very interested to explore a different technology and different experiments, like DIY projects and all those kind of people, this particular batteries are created. You just explore them, how they are going to work and all those things. Okay, thereafter we have a very important section called breadboards, because without having a breadboard, without having a platform where you are going to build your all circuit, this is a virtual platform, I understand, but upon that there should be some reference where you are connecting all your component, right? That reference is given by these breadboards. Okay, so you must know how to use these breadboards based on your application, which I am going to do in this tutorial. Okay, thereafter we have a microcontrollers. I think microbit is a kind of microcontroller. I don't know what it is. It is newly added or recently added, which I'm not going to talk at this point of time. But we have very two important things to notice in this section, which is all about Arduino Uno R3. And I would like to recall one more kind of a slogan that we spoke in previous tutorial. Arduino is not a controller nor a processor, it is a development board, right? We spoke about it, right? So we have Arduino Uno R3 here as a development board. Along with that, we have Attitiny microcontroller. Attitiny is a microcontroller. It is not a development board again. So please don't confuse yourself from development board to microcontroller. Whichever looks like a IC is a controller or a processor, whatever it is. But whenever it looks like a PCB or assembled board or something, then it is a development board. It is not going to be a controller or a processor. Okay. Thereafter we have a certain instruments here to measure voltage, current, and different parameters while doing experiment and all. Okay, so we have oscilloscope, function generator to generate some signals and all. So after that we have integrated circuit. These are ICs which are independent of microcontroller or a processor or maybe a development board. So if you want to generate a monostable multivibrator, or if you want to create a circuit with a bistable multivibrator, then you need a 555 timer, right? So that particular IC is available here, and you have a dual timer IC, which is a 556. Again, we have a op-amp, we have different integrated circuits which are very widely used in DIY segment. Those all components are given in this particular section. Thereafter we have a power control section, which is all about transistor and MOSFETs, I believe, where we have NPN transistor, PNP transistor, NMOS, PMOS, and I think high power ICs are also given here. wherein we also have relay modules. That's amazing actually. We can see that SPDT relay is available here, which is a single pole dual throw relay, and DPDT relay is available, which is a dual pole dual throw relay, and also we have a 5-volt regulator. So these are, you know, kind of power controls which are all about regulators and transistor, MOSFETs and all. Along with that, they also given one development kit here which is all about Pololo simple motor controller. I really don't know what exactly it is, but still do remember this is again a development board which has got a power supply which is built in, and also it has got some controller inside, which so called they are calling it as a motor controller. I really don't know, but you can explore by yourself. Okay, we have a 3.3 volt regulator, we have a 5-volt regulator. So along with that, we have a connector section where we have Bergstrick, which is 8-pin Bergstrick, and also we have USB connector, and then we have a logic ICs. This should be categorized in integrated circuit, but I really don't know why they are categorizing separately. But do remember, these logic ICs are nothing but integrated circuits, but they are specific to certain function, like 7400, which is a NAND gate IC, 7402 is a NOR gate IC, like that. We have a 7404, I believe. Yep, 7404 is a hex inverter, which is a NOT gate IC, and then we have different ICs available here, which is all about integrated circuit, which you can use and develop your digital circuits as well. This particular platform is not only recommended or not only dependent for embedded system design, it is also used for designing your DIY project or a digital circuits for experimenting your certain circuits that you have created using a truth table or something like that. So along with these circuits, we have so many other ICs as well, like CMOS 7-segment decoder is available. So Johnson decade counter is available. I really don't remember these concepts at this point of time because we are more focused on embedded system and Arduino development board and coding Arduino development board and all. So hence I'm not going to focus too much on this, but do remember these are the different components, sensors, actuators, development board and controllers available in this platform, so that you can use them as per your application. Now let me show you how exactly we can build a simple circuit on this platform, so that you can execute it and you can see how exactly simulation works, virtual simulation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for a breadboard, because as I already said, this is a platform but upon which you need a reference where you connect your component, right? So I'm going to search for breadboard. Now we have 3 different breadboards. One is mini, small and normal size. Right now I think I'm going to use a small one. There is no difference between these 3 as per my knowledge with respect to general difference are there, like there is a difference with respect to connections and points and size and pins and all those things, but with respect to functionality I think every breadboard is same. So I'm just using breadboard small, which is looks like a small one, medium size. So I'm just trying to use it on this platform. Now I'm going to keep my breadboard here. For your kind information, you must remember these pins are internally connected and these pins are internally connected, but they are not connected to neighboring line. Okay, you call it as column, right? So these rows are not connected, columns are connected. Okay, wherein with respect to these above line, which are specific for plus and minus, which is indicated by a red color and a black color line, which are dedicated for power supply, and they are connected in the form of rows, not in the form of columns. So these are all connected. Whenever you hover a mouse cursor or a mouse pointer on any one dot, you can get to know that whether that dot is connected to the neighboring rows or a column, whatever it is. Okay, so in this particular case or in this particular row, it is connected in the row fashion, wherein when you come to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, they are connected in a column wise, not in a row wise. So now this is a small breadboard which we are going to use in this particular platform and execution of first project on Tinkercad. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a 9-volt battery, because I just wanted to convert 9-volt battery voltage into 5-volt by using 7805 regulator. I just wanted to show you how exactly simulation works. So I'm going to bring a 9-volt battery. I hope 9-volt battery is available. No, spelling mistake is not accepted here. So when we bring this particular component, if you want to rotate it, you just need to use R key on your keyboard. So it will rotate by, I think, 45 degree, I guess, less than 45 degree, 30 degree or something, I guess. So you just need to rotate it until you get a desired placement or desired angle that you want to place on this particular platform. So when I place it like this, I just need to adjust it somewhere where I just wanted to use it as per my requirement. Now I'll just keep my 9-volt battery out of my breadboard, because battery is always out of breadboard. Now what I need to do is I need to bring my capacitor. So capacitor is available here, polarized capacitor. Why and how we are choosing a polarized capacitor is again a big theory, and it is all about electronics, which I'm not going to speak in this tutorial. So please explore by yourself, and let me focus on what we committed for this particular tutorial. Once we place a capacitor, we will be directed to input the value of a capacitor, which is all about 100 microfarad at this point of time. Just general I'm going, and voltage rating I would like to go with 16 volt. That's enough, because we have an input voltage of 9 volt at max. So double of 9 volt is 18 volt, but 16 volt is sufficient at this point of time, since it is a demo project, right? So once we are done with that, we need to bring a 7805. So I'll just type a 7805 here, and you can see that 7805 appears, and I'm just trying to bring it and place it somewhere here. Randomly I'm placing, there is no such specific direction for this, but do remember, you should not rotate this 7805 and place it like this. If you place like this, what happens? You are literally shorting input, ground and output in a single row. They are internally connected, as I already said, breadboard principle, right? So instead of that, what you need to do is you need to place it like this, or at least in a opposite direction like this. Whichever you feel comfortable, you place it. But right now I feel comfortable with this placement. Why? Because we have an input here and I just wanted to connect it directly. Okay. Thereafter, what we need to do is I think we need to bring one more capacitor for output purpose. So I'll just place my output capacitor here, and again output capacitor is 10 microfarad, and I'll go with a 16 volt. There is no problem for that. Okay. Thereafter, what I want to do is I just want to measure my output voltage and input voltage. For that, we need a voltmeter, right? So let me search whether can I get a voltmeter. Maybe I don't think so. We have a voltmeter here. Other than that, I think I'll just go scroll down. Let me explore, because this platform will be updated all the time. So I just scroll down, and I think we have a multimeter. Let me check whether multimeter can be used. Yes, we can use a multimeter. Why? Because we have a voltage option, current option and a resistance option. So now it is selected with a voltage specific to voltage. So I think we can use this multimeter here. So I just want to use two of them, because I just wanted to know what is my input voltage and what is my output voltage. Now I'll place both of them here, just a little bit in a proper way so that it looks professional. Yep. So after that, now a time is to connect the circuit. Okay, this is the place where we are going to do a connection. Okay, now I'm going to use a mouse pointer to drag a wire from this point to the point where I desire to connect. Okay, so now this is a negative indication, or you can hover your mouse cursor or maybe a pointer on the pins of any component. You will get to know what exactly that pin is dedicated for that component. For this capacitor, this is a negative point and this is a positive point. So what I need to do is output of battery positive should be connected to the positive of this capacitor, and then henceforth we need to connect a circuit, right? So I just click on here and I got a wire connected to my cursor. Make sure that you make a proper connection by dragging it in a straight line and connecting it to the place where you want to connect it. Right now in my case, I just wanted to connect it here, and I don't want to do it in a as a primitive way. I just wanted to do it in a professional way. So I just make sure that it is aligned properly, not just connected, it is aligned and looking good. Okay. So this is green in color. I don't want to do it in a green color, so I just want to change the wire color to red color, because it is a power connection. There is no electrical difference with respect to wire color. Of course, color is not going to define any electrical parameter, but do remember you have to make it looking good as well. Professional work is all about making it looking good as well as functional. So that's why we are making sure that it is connected with a red color wire. Thereafter, we need to connect output of this capacitor to input of our regulator, again with a red color wire, because it is a power in the sense it is a positive voltage. And thereafter we have output of this regulator, which should be connected to the output of output capacitor. Again, I just want to use a red color for this. Thereafter, output of this capacitor or the end output of this entire circuit should be connected to our multimeter. Again, I can connect it directly like this. Instead of that, I choose to connect in a professional way, which is all about connecting it to a nearby point, and from this nearby point to this one, which looks professional rather than just dragging a wire from that point to this point. Thereafter, we connected all the positive nodes or all the positive path where our power flows. Now my job is to connect a negative path or maybe a ground path. I think I'm just thinking, can I make it even more better, because this is looking a little bit weird to me. This is how I am actually. I look into professional way everything. So let me try if I can do it. Yep, this can be done. See, a small bend is removed. That is how the professional way we can optimize our circuit lucratively. Okay, so thereafter we have this point of connection. I think it can be connected here. So let me try. Can I do it directly? Yeah, we can do it directly, and I would like to adjust this multimeter straight forward so that it looks perpendicular. I mean, this connection should look like very professional way. Thereafter, we have a ground connection, which is a negative connection as per this circuit. So I'll just try to do a negative connection. Let me see how can we do it. I think we can do it like this. Again, now what I need to do is I need to make sure that the color of the wire is changed with a black color, because black indication is all about negative voltage or maybe a ground connection. So now the capacitor is connected to battery. Thereafter, I just want to connect that battery capacitor negative point to regulator negative point, and then regulator negative point to output capacitor negative point, so that my circuit is complete, wherein my voltmeter is not yet complete. So let me finish that too. So by doing so, I'm just connecting to negative point of the battery. Thereafter, we have output measurement device, that is a negative part of the output multimeter, which I'm going to connect like this way. And let me see how can I do that. Yep, we can do it like this way. And notice that red color indicates the positive path of the entire circuit and black color indicates the negative path of the entire circuit. I personally believe that the circuit is completely done. Why? Because output is connected to output capacitor, input is connected to input capacitor, wherein the ground point are connected in common. So I personally believe that the circuit is ready. Let me simulate the circuit and show you how exactly it works. First of all, once you are done with all the connection, you just need to wait for a second, because it need to be auto saved. You can see that all changes are saved. Once it says all changes are saved, you must make sure that it is saved, because before running simulation you must make sure that a latest update is getting saved in this platform. Thereafter, you can see the small little icon here or maybe a little button here, which is all about start simulation, start or stop simulation. So once you click on that, you can see that the circuit is working. Boom, it's working absolutely perfect. You can see that the 9 volt battery is giving a 9 volt, which is indicated in a multimeter, and thereafter we have a capacitor and the regulator, which is a 5 volt regulator. Thereafter we have output capacitor, and then we have 5 volt output. This is how you exactly simulate your circuit without purchasing any electronic component. This is actually wonderful technology. When I started learning electronic circuits, if I had this particular circuit, I have never burnt a lot of component. In fact, I literally made a lot of cracking out of these components all the time when I'm experimenting in my lab, and I literally did a lot of mistakes when I'm learning. If I do mistakes in this particular platform, I think it's not going to cost anything to me. It's just my time and also a couple of KB of internet, I think, or maybe MB of internet. But when I burn component, in reality I literally lost a lot of money. So this is a wonderful technology, and I personally feel that this technology you are learning, and you are very much proud about this one. You must be proud about this one. So this is how you are going to execute your circuit on Tinkercad. I think once you are done with this, I personally believe you are understood with this particular circuit simulation, and you got to know how exactly you have to organize component and connect them together so that you can execute your circuit. I would like to give you a couple of assignment. I mean, one single assignment. Do this particular circuit as always. Thereafter, try to implement 3.3 volt regulator in this circuit. Along with 5 volt, try to do a 3.3 volt and put a one more multimeter here and try to arrange that 3.3 volt regulator and bring 3.3 volt and a 5 volt together output from a single 9 volt battery. Okay, I hope you guys can do it, and if you are done with that, let me know your results in a comment box. Alright, this is all about how you are going to build your first circuit in Tinkercad. I believe that you enjoyed the entire procedure and also you tried yourself building your 3.3 volt regulator. Thank you so much for watching this particular tutorial. Consider subscribing to our channel Linked Frequency. Tune yourself to make a difference.